Okay, so here I am with the back piece already glued in, minus the gear. Like I said, I stuck the 3-inch piece, cut a circle, glued it in. This ring here, you still see it's one piece. It bent. Once I got the glue, I used the glue gun on this. Once the glue got on here, it's fairly hot, and once I stuck it down, I was able to heat up the foam a little bit, and it kind of curved it around, and it just allowed it to work. This kind of worked out that way without having to cut or put a split or put putty in there. So that actual piece is the ring back here. On the back is one ring. It's one solid piece. Looking in the inside, you see how it sticks out just a little bit, and then I just ran some glue around it and just kind of blobbed it in there to keep the thing from falling out. So that's how I went about doing that part there. Here's the bottom view. Okay, so now next what I'm going to work on is the back part, the gear. That's going to go on here. Okay, and I started working on it already. I'm going to show you how I went about doing this. But like I've been saying, like with any other parts, if you have a better way of doing it, go for it. Do it your way if it's easier or a better way to do it. But I'm just showing you exactly how I go about doing mine. So what I did is, we see I have a whole bunch of marks on here. So basically what I did, okay, suppose this piece here is the one that I already have cut, except it's bigger, but you get the idea. What I did is made a big cross on it, divided it, and then I divided it again. I went from diagonal to diagonal, divided it again, and then I did it again. And then once I did that, I divided that part again, and again, and again. And then what I ended up with was this here. So it looks like a bunch of spokes. So just find the center, and just run your line across and just divide it. Go half, 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 and keep doing it until you get it like this. Okay, the reason why I did this is because I can't freehand cut this. I need some kind of guide to do it with, and I figured by marking this here, I could at least have some kind of repetitive pattern to go by. So what I did there is at the end of each line, just ran a line straight down on each one of the lines coming out, like the spokes, and then just ran a diagonal to join them. And then from there, to get my cuts, I need this as a guide. So from there, what I did is I got my razor blade, and then stop it. And then, okay, so anyways, to go about cutting the gear to get these little teeth on here, this is going to be hard to do. I just broke my tripod. What you do is, if you look, okay, I got the lines. Oops. I got the lines. So what I do on the black line, I cut a diagonal. I cut a slant. So for instance, okay, the blade is right here. Instead of cutting straight down, I turn my blade at an angle and then cut a diagonal. And then from there, I put the blade in between the two black lines right here and cut straight down, and then it cuts out a notch. This piece here, you cut sideways and then straight down, and this piece will come out. Then you rotate it and do it again. You put your knife on the black mark, do the diagonal, and then go in between, and it cuts straight down, and it'll come out. Okay, so now if you look at it, my blade is in there at an angle. Okay, so the next cut is going to be right here, right next to it, and that's going to be a straight cut. And that straight cut is going to do is meet up with the other one, and then the blade this piece of foam will come right back out. Okay, so now here it is, after I cut it, and now the piece comes out. See? So that's how I do that. So you have to go around and cut it by hand all the way around, which don't really take long. It takes me longer to video it than it does to actually do it. So that's what you do on the black line. If you do it the same way I did, then you go about it like this. On the black line, cut a diagonal, then go in between and cut straight. So you're actually cutting little V's out. See? That's how the pieces look when they get done. So anyway, if you have any questions on this, send me a message. I'll help you out best I can. But I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting these out now. Okay, so now here it is, completely cut. It's all finished. Now if you look at it from the top, not all the cuts are the same depth. So what I'm going to do now is go back and cut in and make all the cuts even, so it looks like an even, so the gear is completely even going around. Another easy way of done this, if I would have cut it just straight cuts, just over and over, except I just thought this would look a little bit better doing a diagonal cut. I don't know, I forgot what you call these type of gears, but the little the kind of the swivel on it, little twist on it. I just think these look a lot better than just a regular gear. The other one looks kind of basic. Anyway, I'm going to finish cutting it, and then I think I'm probably going to go ahead and add a bevel to this, give it a little more three-dimensional look. Okay, so here it is, completely finished. If you look at it from the side, you can see that I cut a little slant, a little bevel to it. I like doing this on a lot of parts and stuff to give it a little more of a better look to it, instead of just cutting just straight, you know, parts, whatever. See if we could, it looks kind of like a tire actually. But anyway, that's the gear. I think that's all I'm going to do for that one. It looks a little different than I did in the other one. The other one I did the gear teeth a little bit more pointed, but once this is painted, you'll really be able to see the cuts and grooves in it, because I'm going to paint along the edges, and it's going to really make this highlight the edges of it and stuff. So that's that right there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. Okay, so here it is with the gear on the back. Give you an idea on the size, how it looks compared to the costume. We're starting to really give it a shape now. And like I said, once it's all painted and stuff, it's going to, all the parts and edges are really going to come out. Like one thing whenever I do costumes or build anything, like you can build this helmet, this head or whatever, you can build it flat, glue these on or whatever, and just add the pieces to it. See, like I could just put these on or whatever, but to me, whenever I do something like this, I always try to make it as three-dimensional as possible. Add layers to it. You know, like this piece here, you know, I layered it up here, so now I got an edge. It comes back, and then here it's like, you know, I have parts back here, then another part here. I try to stack it up in like this ring, you know, adding that part there. The reason is when you layer, well, to me, in my opinion, it looks better. It gives it more of a real look instead of just kind of being plain flat. Also, when you go to start painting it and stuff, you can take advantage of your extra layers and really make the paint come out and show this shape of the costume. Like right here, this little groove, you know, if you just paint it black and leave it, this is going to look like, you know, just a solid piece. But when you start adding the, dry brushing it, adding rust and stuff to it, it really brings the edges out and makes everything look like it's a whole, you know, like a whole bunch of pieces and stuff put together. You know, like the back here. So you have all these parts here. Like the back, all this stuff right here, this little strap coming back, all that's going to add to it once I start painting to it, because I can go over the edges and really just make it come out. So that's one of the things I always try to do, is just add layers and give it, you know, really try to go out with the three-dimensional part of it. Also, when painting it, I try to use as much color as possible without making it look crazy or getting off the, you know, the view of the costume or whatever. Try to use more, you know, or instead of going with one color, use 2 or 3, you know, just try to add as much as you can, so it makes it look a little different, you know. But anyway, this is what I got so far, so now I'm going to start on the bottom lip, and that should be it for it then. Okay, now moving on to the bottom lip part. So what I've done here is I've cut out 2 long, 2-inch wide strips, and that's going to be the width of it that I'm going to use on the bottom of the costume. Before you glue these on, if you look here, I cut a bevel in it. So pretty much, if I was to leave it the way it is, being the way this costume's at an angle, this would come out, this piece right here would come straight out and then go back up. So then if you were to glue it, suppose you glue on the side of your costume, instead of it being down like this, it would stick up. It'd look ridiculous. So what you need to do is go around before you glue these on, is sand or cut with a razor blade, either one, bevel it, so when you put these on, these look flat and parallel to the ground, or however you want to do it. You can do it more of an angle. So if I look at mine from the front, I can actually run a piece from here to here and it'll fit flat on there. That's the kind of angle I got on mine. Like I said, if you want to do more, you can go for it, you know, cut more, but mine is made so that's how I did my bevel. I ran it across like this until I got it, and then continued to sand all the way up to here. So anyway, I'm starting on this. Remember, texture side out, smooth side in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue this on, just like that. And then on the front, I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm going to finish off this side. And then when I get done, I'm going to I'll cut it, you know, and get my angle. Okay, here it is. I got the first piece on there. See, I let it stick past it, and then I cut it off. Because the other one's going to run along it. I'm going to leave one of them full length, and then the other one I'm going to cut, and I'm going to butt into the side of it. So now what I'm going to do is add the piece for the back here. So what I do is use the leftover piece that I got, my 2-inch, and I hold it up against it right here, like that, okay? See, now it's not going to butt up right away, so what I do is hold it beyond it, and then I'm going to go ahead and just, with my mark, I'm going to draw a line, then I'm going to cut it, and it'll butt right up to it. And then as far as the back end of it here, I'm going to let it run off the edge. I'm going to do another cut on that. Okay, now I got my angle. All I have to do now is just glue it in there, and then I'll be done with that. Also, remember when you're doing it, if you look at it from the side, it goes up, and then it goes straight back. So, since it does that, you have to cut a bevel on it. That way it'll fit. Well, I guess you don't have to, but then you'll have a gap on there. You'll have to fill it with putty, or just leave it alone, but I like my ends and corners to be flush. So I cut a bevel on it. So don't forget to do that, and then it'll fit with a neat little seam on it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on now. Okay, got the side piece on. Now I'm going to do the last piece, the back. This one took a good bit of bevel on it. You can see I cut the angle on it. It's going to take a few tries. It just won't work the first time. So you have to cut it, bevel it, and then test fit. Make sure it stays on right. The way I'm finishing off this one here, instead of coming straight back, I'm going to turn it down and have it end right here in front of this piece here to finish off my the little side piece. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on. I'm going to go ahead and glue it like this, full piece, and then once I get it on there, I'll cut it, cut the extra inside. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so now here it is. I got it glued in, and you can see the piece actually comes inside. Here's the edge of the costume. So what I'm going to do is just make a line here and cut off the extra. And then once that's done, I run a bead of glue on the inside all the way along the line where this piece meets up with the inside of the mask, and I do that all around to give it extra strength. I don't add any on the outside because it blobs up. It doesn't look very good, so I'm going to do it on the inside. Just make sure you put a good amount of glue on there. And try not to make it to where when you squeeze it that the glue spews out the side. It'll look kind of sloppy, so try to just do it as neat as you can. Now for these little edges here, I'm going to run a bead of glue on that too, inside only. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that next. Okay, so here it is. I got the lip on the bottom, and I'm finished with that part. See if you get an idea how it looks. So there it is with a 2-inch lip going all the way around. You can see how I did the back. How I finished off the lip is I brought it down to a point and stopped just at the end of these little pieces here. Instead of running the lip all the way down, I thought it might look kind of funny, so I stopped about at the end of that thing there. So that's how it looks. I don't know, the lip, I'm not too happy with it. It looks too small for me, my own opinion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another layer to it. Because if you look at it from the front, see, I don't know, it just doesn't look right to me. It looks a little bit too small for the head size, or I don't know. If I just looked on the internet, the lip on it's a pretty good width compared to the helmet. You see, and give you an idea what I'm about to do. I'm gonna have another one come out, and I'm gonna pull it out like this, just a little bit, and have it step down a little bit. It'll look a little different, but I think I'm gonna do it like that. Another reason is so when I paint it, I'll have another edge to dry brush and give it some more three-dimensional look to it. Okay, I almost forgot that there's two like these side bolt, these little round things that go on the side here. I completely forgot all about that. So anyway, I'm about to cut those out. I'm making mine 1.5 inches diameter. Put one up here, one right there. 1.5 inches gives it a good size to fill up the space without being too big to go to the edges. So I'm doing that right now. Actually having to do it the hard way. my hole cutter thing, I broke the razor blade on it, so I have to do it by hand. So I got my little thing here to make circles, so now I'm cutting these out here. So basically what I'm doing now is just cutting off all the, all the edges, getting it close to the black line as possible. And then I'm gonna go and hand sand it, and I'm gonna double stack it, and it's gonna be the full length of it. So I'm gonna have to make 2 on each side, and then I'm gonna sand it round on top to give it a dome-shaped look. So that's what I'm gonna work on right now. All right, so here they are. I got them more or less cut out. I got a rough cut. I got them stacked up together. Got a few of these, so now I got to sand it. Go around and sand it. So when I get done, it'll look like this here. It's round, and I got kind of a dome on it. And that's it for that. I'm gonna go ahead and. Okay, so here it is. I added these pieces on now. They're all glued on. So now it looks better. Took me a minute to realize what I was missing, but yeah, it looks a lot better. Gives it more shape now. So that's that. Those pieces there. That's how it looks from the side. I mean, from the back. I don't know what the hell they are, but they're on there. Anyway, so now I can get started on the bottom lip. I was about to start on that, and I noticed I was missing those pieces, so I'm going to go ahead and start on the bottom lip again, and then I'll be done. But there it is. Okay, here it is. I'm finished with it now. I got the lip on there. The side pieces, if you see the lip here, I staggered it out to make it a little bit wider. I'm going to paint it all up, and if it looks too wide, I might just cut off that extra lip I did. I think it's going to look really cool when it's painted up with this stuff on there. So here it is. You see I got the bolts put on the back. So that's how it looks in the rear. That's how I finished off the pieces on the side. I just tapered them in. And the second one did the same thing. And just brought them down to a point. I think it's going to turn out pretty good. Once I get it all painted up, it's really going to look a lot better. It's kind of hard to get a visual how it's going to look with it being blue styrofoam. But that's it right there. I'm officially done with it. I'm going to paint this a different way than the other one. I'm going to show you guys how I painted the other one. If you choose to do that one, you do it that way. And I'm going to paint it a little different on this particular one. It's actually going to take a while. I'm going to use a bunch of different types of paints and stuff to give the rust effect. It's kind of time consuming, but I'm going to give it a shot and see how it comes out. But anyway, this is how it looks all finished. So this is how it looks when it's finished. If you guys have any questions or whatever, let me know. Oh, also, I forgot to show you something I did on the bottom. I did this in the other one too. If you look here, I added a piece right here in the very tip, because on the very front it's pretty thin. So I added this piece right here to stiffen it up. If not, your tip's gonna get banged up pretty bad. So what I did is added this piece on there, glued it, and then I beveled it like here on the side, kind of put a bevel on it. If not, when you look at it from the side, it looks real thick. It looks like a big block or something's under it. So I beveled it, so when you're looking at it, your point of view, you don't see the square, and it kind of tucks it underneath. So that's what I did that. So that's it there. Alright, hope you guys like it. Let me know what y'all think.